Well, when you're from the Midwest, it seems like ludicrous that I was just like at the beach for a couple of minutes.
Right.
We were there for an hour. Like for most people, you have to like pack and drive. Even in my state.
Yes.
Remember when I told you I drove 3 hours to get to the Berkshires?
Yeah.
Like those people, if they want to go to the beach, it's going to be a real beach, Nathan. It's going to be, an hour and 30 minutes to the Cape, but then you have to pay for parking. You have to know where to go, or they're going to go to New Hampshire. So
it's like you can't even do it in one day.
Well, you can, but it's a whole day
thing. It's a thing.
Leave the beach, go to lunch, come back, pack your lunch. Like it's a whole thing. Traffic on the Mass Pike.
Right.
I can't imagine. I literally drove, not a mile down the street I took a right out of my driveway and I drove a mile.
And it's like you have Tommy's stuff just in like the little cube in the back of the Jeep.
Yep.
You throw the shit, you pack a applesauce thing, whatever those things are. What are they? Like
pouch.
You pack a pouch and you're off.
Making you big and me small. It really helps with not staring at myself.
I agree. I just did the same.
I was talking to her about getting off birth control for different reasons, that she's off of it. I'm off of it to try to get pregnant. She's off of it for medical reasons. But when she went off, she was saying how she went so crazy that like mentally, and that's like a horrible word to use, but it's the word that I'm going to use. So she went so crazy that she had to call the doctor, and for the first time in her life ever, had to get put on an anti-anxiety, antidepressant. And she's like, you can go on them. I'm like, oh, I'm on it. I'm just not on my normal amount. And she's like, I don't think you should she's like, I'm not a medical professional, but I don't think you should be going down and going off birth control at the same time. It should be like staying the same and going off your birth control. Yeah. Because I got my first period since 2017. A couple days ago.
Like, and
Nate already heard this story, but I'll tell you guys, follow me real quick. I'll say it so fast. 2017, started dating a man. Whoa, have to put birth control in, right? Because like I'm gonna get pregnant. So I normally date women. I had a boyfriend like right out of high school, never once used birth control. Pulled out every time, never a problem.
Pull and pray.
So I wasn't even sure if I could get pregnant, because why didn't I get pregnant back then? That's weird. But anyway, dated women most of my 20s, and then along comes Andrew. Okay, got to get birth control. Nope, I got an IUD. 0 period. We dated for years and years, got married, took the IUD out, got pregnant right away, had a miscarriage. After the miscarriage, 2 weeks later, pregnant again, had Tommy. A year later, breastfed, and then wanted to start having sex again, said put the IUD back in. Still haven't had a period. I've had a miscarriage and a birth, but no like real period, because you bleed a lot after you have your baby. Obviously you like shed.
Yeah.
But I couldn't wear a tampon. I'm just wearing diapers.
Yeah.
You wear Depends. You do. So now here we are in 2022, coming to the end of the year here, and I just got a period since 2017. That hasn't either been by birth or miscarriage.
Right. Like a legit period.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea what to do. I called my psychiatrist crying, and I told her, I think I have a problem. I think I'm bipolar. Something's going on. I'm having a mental breakdown. I'm eating chocolate. I want to be in my room. The whole world could be on fire, and I would laugh and watch it burn. I would watch small children die, bunnies die, puppies die, and I would be happy making I want to eat ramen soup with peanut butter and chocolate. She goes, stop. You're having PMS. And I went, holy fucking shit, bitch. I forgot about it.
And
I'm remembering now that I was a cunt. Right before I got my period.
You're like
a psycho.
Just 30, how old are you? 31? 31-year-old woman having
33.
Oh, are you? Why did I think we were a decade apart? 33-year-old woman having her period for the first time. No biggie.
And you want to know what else is crazy? Yeah, I dated women and I didn't have birth control, but I was an alcoholic. I didn't get my period. So I got sober in 2017, maybe had a handful, and then put birth control in.
Yeah.
And I'm really sensitive. I'm on any birth control, 0 period.
Yeah.
Even when I was on the pill, barely a period.
My sister had that, like, when
PCOS?
she's always had like super severe periods, and like, so tried different birth controls to try to like minimize the symptoms or to like eliminate the period with like the hormones. But like when she started, and she's been through, like, ran the gamut with her OBGYN, trying all these different things, because she legit is in like fetal position for 3 days when she starts her period. So, but the majority of like oral contraceptives make her like flip a switch, man, with her mentally. Like the mix of like any oral medication or, you know, contraceptive and her sort of mental stability don't mix. So she's gotten to the point where she just has dealt with it now for like the last decade. And
she's dealt with the pain.
The pain.
Right. And it's not PCOS?
See, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't really dig into like feminine health that much with her. Like, I'm sure like her doctor's doing like what they should, but it seems to me that like that shouldn't still exist, right? Or that there should be some sort of alleviation of those, like, severity of the symptoms. Or like if it's endometriosis, for example, like isn't there like a treatment or like something you can do
it's
to
a
like
hysterectomy
alleviate?
or partial hysterectomy.
Oh, well, fuck. No wonder.
Well, why doesn't she just do that? She doesn't want children.
She doesn't want children. You're right.
You go through menopause a little bit earlier. My mom had that done because she had endometriosis. So she had a partial hysterectomy when she was in her 40s, early 40s.
Yeah, she's 43.
Because of the pain.
Yeah.
Because
but
of the
she's
pain. But
also
I will say,
scared
I'm pretty
of, like,
sure she regrets it because it's not like a vasectomy and you can reverse it.
Right.
So once they're gone, they're gone. And she then met her husband now, and she would have had his children if he wanted to. He never wanted kids, so hopefully, like, gratefully, like, but she couldn't even give him the option.
Yeah, to not even have that option.
But she's had me, and she was divorced 3 times, so she's like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Why be in pain if I'm not having any more kids?
She's also scared of like a needle prick, or she like is scared to go to the dentist. So a partial hysterectomy, like at this point, probably.
It's so funny that you can be afraid of a needle prick, but then you're able to handle literal birth.
Right.
Because I don't think that most people, even some women, understand what cramps are.
It is,
but
like it is contraction,
your,
right?
Yeah, it's your cervix opening to pass blood clots.
Much the way that it
opens to pass a baby.
Thank you. Yeah.
So yeah, you're dilating you're dilating, you know, a smither.
Yeah.
A smidgen. But it doesn't matter. I'll tell you this. If you're dilating a centimeter or a millimeter, or you're going from, it doesn't matter. The pain is there. If you're going from a 5 to a 6 or a 5 to a 6 to a 10 and, you know, active labor, all hell's going to break loose. But even when you're starting off having cramps, I've had menstrual cramps and I've had I've had menstrual cramps and I've had cramps from being in late term pregnancy. And then I've also had contractions. They've all felt the same.
Fuck.
Until you're like in active labor, that's like where it's like,
yeah,
it's unbearable for some women.
Yeah.
But the threshold is different from every person. But it's funny to hear you say that she's afraid of a needle, but she can get in the fetal position and fucking rock it
basically
through
birth
every month you go through right. Birth for her. For her, that's, for some women, that's what it is. They are literally having the same amount of pain as birth, as contractions during labor, as that they do when they have their period. I don't have bad menstrual cramps. I never had an issue with menstrual cramps. I mean, there would be like bad periods.
Yeah.
As a teenager, especially, but in adulthood, I drank too much to like have enough blood in my uterine line to have to pass huge clots.
God. the fucking shit that we put our bodies through, or that alcohol changes within our bodies. Healthy
I used to think
processes.
it was awesome.
Yeah.
That I didn't get my period. I thought it was awesome.
Wow.
I like never got it. That and them being bulimic on top of it, forget it.
You were like living the high life.
And I was dating women, so it wasn't ever like, you know, it's so scary. I remember I was in a committed relationship. I don't think I've ever said this to anybody but my friend who was there with me that day. I feel like it might have been Tiffany. If she listens to the podcast, so she'll text me if it's her, little Tiff. I feel like it was her. But I was in a committed relationship with a woman, and I would take pregnancy tests if I didn't get my period for months at a time. You want to know why?
Because
not because I was cheating on her.
To make sure, I don't know. I can't figure it out.
Because I could have gotten raped every single night and I wouldn't have known.
Fuck. That's scary as fuck.
And, you know, you say you wake up and you know if you've gotten raped. Well, did I come home drunk and fuck myself with a dildo? Or have sex with my girlfriend?
Right.
And then she went home for the night?
Right.
Am I going to text her? Oh, did we have sex last night?
Right. Did I pull?
Or when you're single, you don't know, you know, and like when I was single too, when I was single but only dating women, I still would take tests. If I didn't get my period for like 4 months, I would be like, I should probably take a test because I could have definitely taken a man home and gotten raped. I remember I came to once, this gentleman who's still on island, and whenever I see him in public, he looks at me and I look at him and we both know. But I came to with him trying to force himself upon me. And I was, I remember we were friends. He worked at a local restaurant. He was a bar regular. I saw him. I trusted him. I said, I would need to walk home. I don't want to pay for a cab. I was always like, if I walk home, I'll sober up. I remember that, but I blacked out during the walk. So I don't know if he gave me something or slipped me something or offered me something like a nip or I was coming to, but then blacked out again during the walk home.
Fuck. Which
is weird.
Yeah.
And then I was in my basement, room I was renting from my parents, and I don't think that he realized I live with my parents. It's typical to be renting a room from somebody on Nantucket, especially as a single lady. So I was in my room and I came to, and I was kind of like backed up against, it's actually this wall right here, probably in this spot because my bed was here. So I was backed up against this wall and I came to and I said, my parents are 1 floor up and I will scream and it's time for you to leave.
Wow.
And I should have screamed just because my stepdad probably would have murdered him. I'm not kidding. Like he actually, like he's been waiting to kill somebody his whole life. Like he just is. He's just one of those guys. It's like, I fucking kill him. But he's like never like punched somebody before, you know, but like just been waiting for that one moment. My husband's like that too. Drew's like that. He always talks about murder, but I'm like, you've never heard a fly.
Right.
He's just waiting for that one moment to protect his kin. Anyway, I didn't get loud. He left though.
So how
many times have I
lived
done
in
that
house and you were in the basement? Cool. Yeah,
for a long time.
Totally live in that basement. It's like its own little, I love it down there.
I know. Drew and I mean, if this was our house, we would close that off, put a door, like close off get a real door by the stairs, put another door on the other side of the staircase so they can get into the basement to get laundry, and put a bathroom off like where the head of the bed was, and then you know, charge somebody.
Yep. For a pretty penny on Nantucket. Right. We would lose a guest room, but gain income. I mean, we're doing all right now, and this isn't our house. We rent from them, so Anyway, I birth control is and being able to bear children. Even so, that's like so funny when people are like, when they meet a woman who's a lesbian and they're on birth control and they're so confused. I find that so interesting because they forget about rape. Come on. Right. Yeah. It's like or you forget about PCOS, you forget about endometriosis, things at birth control, acne. Right. Silly, like, one track narrow-minded people that we come across daily.
It's not even all like mean or hurtful or intent. It's just it's not even stupidity. I feel like sometimes it's literally their world is so small, which it's great to have a small world. I mean, it's great to not be so curious and open your mind up. It's very comfortable to be closed-minded and not want to expand your knowledge and not want to know everything. I think there's a lot of people like that, and that's like normal. That's just like a normal person.
Wouldn't it like simplify our lives? I think you and I
we're both like
share the like yearning for like knowledge and like want to like know and experience more. But sometimes like I'm like, man, if I just lived in like a log cabin and didn't like have that like want for things and knowledge, and would life be simpler?
It would be, but we wouldn't know that. We wouldn't know that we're living a stress-free life. In our own little lives, we'd find ways to like...
That's true.
But like, because everybody has like, goes, no matter how small your life is, you go through like the emotions of being a human being, I think.
Yeah.
But like the reason why we're both sitting here with a microphone in front of us is because we are that type of like, nobody who isn't like us would be able to do a podcast.
True.
You have to be intelligent, inquisitive, curious. That's the same thing. But like,
I'm so curious.
You have to be able to hold a conversation. If you ask me what is your favorite thing about you, like people ask me, like, you know, when you go to like a therapist, or like, what's your favorite thing about yourself? My answer has always been the same. And it is my ability to always, I just asked this question the other day. This lady asked my Reiki favorite thing about myself is that I am extremely curious. Even that, I said to her, even that I find curious. I find it so curious that I am so curious. What is it about me that makes, and the best part about my curiosity is that I have zero ego attached. If I learn something that, and it proves a core belief to be wrong, scientifically I need it to be, or morally, I see a different perspective, or I learn a new information that is made me become, in my eyes, wrong. In my opinion, that means that I was wrong. I fucking swallow that shit and hop on a new train.
That, I think,
I love that about my curiosity.
That changes the way that, because sometimes curiosity can come off as condescending if you are like questioning people about their choice, not like in like a interrogation sort of way, but you know how like if you're asking people a lot of questions, sometimes it can come off as like egotistical, or like you're condescending. Like we were talking in the last episode, like you're married to a man now, but you dated women before. You know, it depends on like how you ask it, or like the intent behind it. But I think if there isn't an ego attached to it, or if it's just like really genuine curiosity, I love that trait in people.
Me too. And I definitely, for sure, I can say that I thought about it while you were saying it, because it's going to sound egotistical as I say this. So but I'm aware that it is. Disclaimer, I don't do much disclaiming in my life because of my ADHD. I don't have enough time to like have a disclaimer for you guys. I really am working on that. I've lost a lot of friends along the way. I've hurt a lot of people. ADHD, that if you have it like I do, where your impulsivity is insane, zero control. Even when I'm medicated, it's impossible to control my mouth. But when it comes to curiosity, for some reason, I'm always, if it's not my opinion and it's an actual question about you, I'm always able to say, excuse my manners. Excuse me if this is inappropriate. I wrote an email to an old therapist today. I'm trying to find my old therapist, and I emailed one of her like colleagues. And the entire thing was just apologetic. If this is out of line, if this is not the way to do this, because I am curious to find this information, but I always come with this like warning when I'm being curious, because if I'm curious, it's because I don't know fuck about shit or shit about fuck.
Same.
So I'm going to have to apologize in advance.
Right.
I always apologize in advance.
I say that often. Listen, I don't know shit about shit, but like I'm just, this is genuine curiosity. So I hope it's, I hope it doesn't come across as condescending or egotistical in any way. But I know I get it from my mom because
when you're coming at me from the side eye right now, you're freaking me out.
Oh, am I?
It's really making me uncomfortable.
I just figured out that my chair swivels. So you know how like the thing on the bottom, like I just had never like turned. It's like a desk chair. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have had it for 2 years and never realized that it swiveled. So, okay. Okay. So
have you ever gone to a spin class?
Never. I do have a bicycle that I love to ride.
Okay.
But I get my curiosity from my mom, and we still tease her like about it, because if she meets someone new, and this maybe is where I get my want, or like always, my dream has always been like talk show style. If she meets someone new, she legit has like a list of questions as if she's fucking Oprah Winfrey that she goes down to ask people where you're born. What do your parents do for a living? How many siblings do you have? Like she has a list of questions that she goes through, and legit talk show style. So maybe that's where I get it.